This is John Stranzel, PhD student at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln at the School of Natural Resources. My advisor is Dr. Troy Gilmore. This video is to review some substantial changes that have been made to the GUI for the GRIME AI applications. On the screen before you is the screen that first appears when you run GRIME AI. Currently, it will default to a neon site. That neon site happens to be Lake Barco. It will also default to a product, single product, the land-water interface imagery. That's where a lot of my work is being done currently. Down here at the bottom, you see the image, the latest image that was taken as of this date of this video of this particular site. We can go to other sites. Let me see, there was one, Flint maybe. Well, let's look at Lake Suggs. Lake Suggs, this is Lake Suggs. See what that looks like there. Walker Branch. And these are all coming off the internet real time as they are clicked on. So I am going to go back to, here's Flint River. Let me just double click there. There we go. The Flint River. So I'm going to go back to Lake, there's the Rickery. I'm going to go back to Lake Barco. I've been using this for a lot of my test work. And I have the land-water interface images selected. Now I go to the site products. So here we have a full implementation of being able to filter out imagery for a specific time period. So we simply click on the start date, and let's keep it simple because it takes a long time to download a lot of data. Let's just do the past 5-6 days. And right now I'll leave the start time and end time to be zeros. That will cause all the images to be retrieved for every day between this specified time period. Notice down here on the left hand side, this is new. This feature was tucked in over here on the right hand side in one of these tabs. Instead, I have put it down here at the bottom where our data is being selected and filtered. Now I simply click Retrieve Data, and we get our little pie there, pie clock, and now the images have been downloaded for those several days. If we look here on the right hand side, we can see it says images retrieved 168. So now if I come over to our image processing tab, you can see the very first image that was taken that day was at nighttime. You could double click on the image on the left and it enlarges, and you can see here that this image here was taken September 26th, 2021. Now if I click up on select image here on the box on the right, there's a little feature I'm still working on. You can see going through the images here through the various times of day, and as the sun's going down, we have let me back up, just 28 images per day roughly. So here is the 29th image on the next day, and you can see it's dark out. Now if we wanted to just get the data for say noon, or an hour before noon and an hour after noon, so 1100 hours and 1300 hours, we can specify that in the start and end time fields, and we could click on retrieve data again. Once again, we retrieve our data, and we'll click, and you see here on the right hand side it says images retrieved 24. We click on our image processing tab, and now if we were to go through all of these images, you could see here they're roughly in the middle of the day. because you could tell from the image that the sun is pretty high in the sky. Images are pretty bright, except for when the clouds are overcast. But none of those dark images that we had seen earlier, or those black images from the early morning or late evening, are in this list of images. So we have a complete set of filtering tools here for the imagery. Now, going back to the site product tabs, I want to point out a couple of other things. The image outputs create video from images and create EXIF file from images. That's currently been disabled. Okay, that will be put back in short order. Over here you see a Save Images checkbox, and it has red text. When you hover on it, it says, warning, saving images to your hard drive may take a long time depending on your network and laptop speed. That is currently not enabled, that feature. Downloading these very large images for, say, a year could take a very long time. I have not implemented that feature yet. I just don't feel a need for it for some of the work I'm doing at this point in time. But that feature will be enabled shortly. So that's what we have on this interface. If I come back to Neon Sites, I can hold my control key down and select another product, say nitrate and surface water. That is the only product that could be downloaded in conjunction with the land water interface imagery, because each data type has its own format. That means that we have to write a module for every piece of data to be able to extract the information as it is stored on the Neon site. Now, as a reminder from past videos, all this data is coming down real time from the Neon and PhenoCam site. So if I were to click Retrieve Data, we would retrieve all the nitrate and surface water data. And you just saw an example of retrieving the land water interface imagery, downloading the images as we were clicking through our select image on the right hand side. Now, going back to our site products here, one more exercise here or demonstration where I could put in the WEIR image folder I have on my computer and select hard drive and come over to my image processing, and here are the WEIR images for the state line. So this previous image here, this is a test image that I'm using to detect edges on objects, as well as to test my ROI algorithms, actually my color extraction algorithms and feature detection algorithms. So for instance, if I were to come over here and select, say, this region here, I could come over to ROI and I could say, let's call this, let me see, WEIR upstream. Okay, and I could click Add. And what happens now, those colors are extracted, 4 major colors, and they are placed in this reference image column here. I could come over here and I could say, change this to trees, and I could say no foliage, and I can click Add. And you'll see here where I add the colors for those trees. I can make another box here to extract out the waterfall, if you will, of the WEIR. So WEIR, and I'll just call it a waterfall, and click Add. And now I can go through, I can turn on display all my ROI, so as I'm going through the images, I can see where my ROIs are. And in this other column here that says CUR period image, that's current image, and we will see the colors for that image that we currently have on the screen. Still having our reference imagery here as a reference. So we click through these images, you can see here how the colors on the right hand side are changing, and if you were to look at the images on the left hand side, you can see where we selected our regions of interest. Here is the red box here in the trees, the red box upstream of the WEIR, and a red box here on the waterfall. They're very faint because I want them to obscure any features of the river. But they could be made thicker. We can obviously put an option in, say, hey, make the lines thicker, thinner, and so forth. And we can keep going through images. Let's go to image 10. And for instance, now the extraction of the color is taking a little bit of time because of the k-means clustering algorithm that I'm using. It does take time. The smaller the ROI, the faster it is. The larger the ROI, obviously, the longer it's going to take. Now, notice here the waterfall, the colors here brighten significantly as compared to the image we trained on. Also, notice here that the water has taken on a greenish tinge, and you can see here in the tab on the right-hand side under current image how it shows a greenish tinge as opposed to the blue tinge that we see from the reference image. When the edge detection methods, you've seen these things before. We can change our thresholding to see what effect thresholding has on our edge detection. Let's do 150 here. And it runs through the edge detection algorithm. Now, the one thing I do have to remove is I have to do the edge detection before the images have the ROIs drawn on them. As you can see here in the edge detection method, you can see those ROIs. Okay, but here you have it. We have a different edge image here that we can evaluate. Also, so many features in the software. Where to go next? If I double click on the image on the left, I could see a blown up image here. Actually, it's not going to fit on this particular screen capture for the video, but there you have the could double click to see the imagery. If I want to go back to site products and say I want to go back to, say, the neon site to Lake Barco, I could just click on that and that will bring me back to the neon site. That's it. There's going to be a lot more coming every day, a lot quicker as we add more and more functionality into it. The whole goal is to get back to the point where, as you see in this video here, we can continue on with our feature extraction work that I started a couple months ago. That's it. If you have any questions, again, this is John Stransville, PhD student at the University of Nebraska at Lincoln School of Natural Resources, and my PhD advisor is Dr. Troy Gilmore. Thank you very much.